I came to a bit of a worrying realisation this week. I think I've run out of all those true stories I usually tell. It's a problem. I'm going to have to find some more. So who hasn't had this situation before, right? You get home, your rebellious brother's back, and your dad's killed the fatted calf. Something easy to relate to. This story about the prodigal son kind of needs to be explained a little bit by the two stories that happened previously. So this is a run of parables from Jesus. And we have one about the lost coin. We know that one, where a lady loses a coin. She's frantically looking everywhere for it. Maybe this one's a bit more relatable, I think. I can relate to this one. Frantically looking everywhere for it in the house, turns everything upside down, and eventually she finally finds this coin. It's a great celebration. So the theme of losing something, basically giving everything you have to find it, finding it again, and celebrating. And then we have the parable of the lost sheep. We're all fairly familiar with that one. We have a shepherd who has this great flock of 100 sheep, and then the one rogue runs off. It's fairly common with sheep. They're not the most intelligent creatures in the world, and they'll go straight through fences if you have them. But what does that shepherd do? Leaves the other 99, goes and finds this rogue sheep, brings them back, one choose a great celebration with his friends. So now we can see where this parable comes into play. This one's a lot bigger. It's definitely the biggest parable of losing we find that Jesus gives. And so there's a lot more conversation and dynamic going on. Now, I think millions of words have been written on this topic. Lots of ink's been spilt. In fact, whole books have been dedicated to this one parable. So it's very difficult to see this in any kind of new sense. But out of those, there's usually three ways of looking at this, three kind of strands. We can see the father, this one who has been so disrespected by his son, by asking for his property, which is his birthright once his father passes away. He's basically saying to Dad, "You're dead to me. Give me what I'm going to have when you pass." So he does that, goes away, squanders all his wealth. He has a complete change of heart. Now, this isn't just repentance of that, I regret these actions that I've done. I think I've done something morally wrong, therefore I turn and repent of it. This is what we spoke about 2 weeks ago. Right? About repentance not being about feeling guilty about something, but about a whole new way of seeing the world. A whole new way of living through humility and love. So he goes back to his father, not even expecting to be greeted as a son. And what does the father do? He leaves everything, just like the sheep, to meet him while he was still far off. Throws his arms wide, gives him his ring, restores him back to the family, and lovingly accepts the son again. So we can clearly see a teaching there about the nature of God's grace and the nature of God's love in our Father. It's beautiful, right? It should give us great confidence that this is the kind of love which is exhibited. And of course we can see ourselves in the Son, or at least I can. Maybe I'm the only one that has done that before. The kind of rebellious streak I think we all have at times. Those things we occasionally do that we wish we hadn't. And we don't actually know we wish we hadn't until something happens to us. Like, oh, maybe that wasn't a great idea. And then we kind of step back with our tail between our legs, not expecting to be accepted. But where's the miracle? The miracle is that if someone that you've hurt, even unintentionally, welcomes you back with open arms. That's the miracle. That's beautiful. So we can relate to that rebellious son. But I actually think the one that is pertinent for us today, especially in our current sort of conversations and the way we sometimes act or see society act is the older brother. What's the older brother's reaction in this scenario? When he comes closer to the house, he hears all of the celebration. You can tell he's angry, confused straight away. Right? Calls out one of the servants. The servant tells him what's going on, and he is furious. What are you doing? How could you do this? Son of yours, not my brother, this son of yours has squandered your wealth, and you've never even given me a little goat to celebrate with my friends. You can kind of understand why he's grumpy. You can understand why he's angry at this point. I think this kind of family dynamic happens all the time. I can tell you right now, amongst my kids, that kind of thing happens. If I give a cookie to one, and I've accidentally missed another one, there's a bit of holy righteous anger going on there. So we can understand on the surface why this older brother is angry. The problem is, there's not really much righteousness about it. The Father has exhibited the way of grace, the way of love, the way we are taught by Christ to welcome people. The confidence that we have in God's love for us with His open arms and His acceptance. Whereas the older brother sees jealousy and anger and an unwillingness to accept someone he doesn't think should be accepted. So I think there's a lesson for us. It's safe to say that in many church circles and in religious circles in the last few years, maybe the last 100 years, there's been a move to accept people within our churches and within our religious communities that historically, unfortunately, have not been given that wide open-armed acceptance and given a place at the table in the banquet. Some of us find that hard to accept. Some of us, at times, I think all of us, tend to act like the older brother. Why on earth are you accepting them back? Why on earth are you doing this for this rebellious son when I have been holy and perfect? We see this playing out in society. If any of you go onto Facebook or any of those social media platforms, which I sort of just happen to love, think are good, or many think are evil, all you have to do is look at the comment section, right? And how often is judgment thrown onto other people? How often are these camps set up with, how can you possibly support this guy, right? Or this group? The rejection is strong. And the focus on self-righteousness is played out in real time. So I think there's a lesson in there for all of us from the older son. It's a bit of a caution. Before we argue against welcoming or accepting anyone, how about we put Christ to his example? How about we turn our faces to the Father and realise what he did when the one who even denied him his place in his family came back home, expecting to be welcomed as a slave. As with every parable Jesus uses, it's powerful. Sure, the language may be a bit old. My parents never killed a small goat for me either. But it translates beautifully for our time, our society, because it's eternal. These lessons will always need to be taught. These little hiccups will always happen. But we can thank God that we have Christ's word and God's love to fall out. In the name of God, the Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen.